Game of Thrones left a very sour taste in people's mouths.
Mm-hmm.
For how fantastic the show had been over a 10-year span. Unfortunately, the way that Game of Thrones ended left a very sour taste in people's mouth.
Yes.
I did a rewatch. I didn't think it was as bad as I originally thought, but still could have been more, could have been less rushed. And then we got House of the Dragon, and people were like, fantastic. This is like Game of Thrones, but more focused on the Targaryens.
Yep.
But it was very similar. And so when they announced A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, we were like, okay, like we don't really know what we're getting into. We saw a similar spinoff. Is this going to be similar? Well, no, not at all. It's actually 6 episodes, 30 minutes each, if that.
Yep.
Funny as all heck.
Super
cutscene jokes that we've never seen.
Never seen.
No Game of Thrones theme like we've seen. And it was something very different and ultimately very satisfying for a lot of fans. And unfortunately, we've gotten into this rigmarole, love that word, where we get like 3 years between seasons. And with Severance and Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon,
right,
Stranger Things, that too can leave a sour taste in people's mouths and also have people either forget what happened or fall off completely. Yes. And it seems like Casey Boyce, the head of HBO, is reassuring fans that we are going to get back to a place of annual releases. This comes to us from winteriscoming.net. They say HBO CEO Casey Boyce opened up of how A Night of the Seven Kingdoms has a release strategy unlike other shows of its genre. In an interview with Deadline, Boyce discussed the release strategy for future seasons and assured fans HBO wants to ensure each season comes out annually. He said, yes, they're currently shooting. This will be annual. Again, it was something that we were trying to, it's not possible for all shows, but it is something that where it's possible creatively to get back to that. And we'd like to try and do that. Obviously, that last comment raises a key concern for genre TV shows, like I explained with a lot of hit shows we've seen recently, Stranger Things, Severance, House of Dragon. We've seen like 3 or 4 years sometimes between these bad boys, and it really can hurt a show that has great momentum. But it doesn't seem like we're going to lose that momentum when it comes to A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I just got to say right away, this show is absolutely fantastic. The last episode was breathtaking. Yes, there was a flashback. Should we do spoilers, Ken, or no?
We can. I mean, we
tighten it up.
The finale. Yeah.
Keep it tight. Okay. Okay.
No,
tonight is the finale.
Yeah, we could do
Let it go
if you want to. Yeah.
He dies. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You know, it's just such a great appetizer between the bigger world of Game of Thrones, if you will. And it was so refreshing to see them show us what Game of Thrones can also be like. It doesn't mean it has to be like this. It can be whatever, Ken. But
nice.
This is what we were talking about with Star Wars, that Star Wars does not have to be one thing. In A Night of the Seven Kingdoms proves Game of Thrones does not have to be one thing. It can still be great. And this show, it's funny, it's short, it's sweet, it leaves you on the edge of your seat, and it gives you a nice beat. I just wanted to rhyme for a little bit in that part. And so I want to ask you, Kenny, one, what do you think of them saying, hey, we recognize people don't like 3 years between seasons. This ain't going to be that. And two, now that you've binged and got caught up to the finale to tonight, I can't wait. how are you feeling about it? So 1, annual releases. 2, how are you feeling about the series in whole?
I'm a fan of annual releases in general. I don't want to back in my day, but back in my day of watching even Arrow and the CW, we were getting 22 episodes a season of hour-long shows. So I don't understand this idea that your 8 to 10 episode season takes 3 years to produce. I don't think it does, right? So I'm very much in favor of having an annual release, especially like with this type of show that is, I guess you could call it an appetizer, but it does still it feeds us pretty well. I'm loving the narrative and going
Am I
into
doing a
it.
disservice by calling it? I don't mean disrespect on a night
Oh no,
of
no,
the Seven Kingdoms,
no.
but you feel what I'm saying, right? Because it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
short
yeah.
and sweet. Sorry
'Cause
to cut
it's
you
not
off,
the
but
main.
I
Yeah.
wasn't poo-pooing on it, like
Mhm.
diminishing how great the show is. But it
Yeah,
is like a little like,
yeah.
I love this. And then we're getting House of the Dragon in June, but it was like, oh, I love that it carried us through. Sorry,
Are
go
we
ahead,
getting
my
House of the
friend.
Dragon in June? I wasn't
Yes, sir.
expecting
Yeah,
it.
trailer dropped this past week. Did a great trailer watch. People are loving it, but now it feels like, oh, what a great runway to the
Right.
bigger series, right? A
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah, absolutely. And also, I still have 2 episodes in season 2 to watch
Oh,
of
you
last
have 2
season.
more left, or you are
Uh,
2 into season 2?
no, 2 more left from season 2.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you
Yeah,
waited long enough to
yeah. I
have
got
it
to finish it.
coming hot off the heels.
Yeah, because honestly, I'm enjoying this a lot more than I was season 2. And a
That's
big
fair.
part of that is we do have new characters and we have a new perspective about this world. And on top of that, they're still giving us the intrigue. When the kid is, the bald kid looks at the Targaryen who walks into the town and was like, he's a Targaryen. Like immediately, I knew that because I had the pleasure of watching the other seasons and other shows and just knowing what a Targaryen is. Because I was thinking like, why is this kid bald? That's why. So it still gives us enough
That's
intrigue
cool.
and things of that nature to really
Still
dig
connected.
into it. But I
Right.
am traumatized
Sir,
by
get up, sir. Sir,
previous
get
Game of
up.
Thrones seasons. Yeah, because I'm like somebody's driving by and his head's getting cut off. I just know it. Like just the entire
You're
time.
waiting for the
I'm
ball to
like,
drop. You're waiting
yeah,
for
because the one thing I've always said about Game of Thrones is that
Yeah.
it doesn't fake you out. It is what it is, unless Jon Snow's coming back to life. But it is what it
Right.
is. Somebody looks like they're dying.
Yeah.
They're dying, right? So this was a
Right.
very different than I was used to because I thought he was dead. So yeah, I'm glad he's not though. I'm glad he's not. Because I
You
was
thought
like,
that was
okay,
the end? Do you thought that it
yeah.
might have been? Oh, this is like a limited series. You were like, oh, okay, this
No,
might
so
be the end of the series.
what I know Game of Thrones would do is they'll kill a character and switch the perspective of the entire show to somebody
That's
else.
true. That is
So I was like,
true.
oh, so we're just going to switch to the bald kid, or we're going to switch to somebody else. So I like even like the very first season they killed the king. I forget. Ned, right? So
Yeah.
and I'm thinking because I watched it way after everybody else. Oh, I'm going to be following Ned for the rest of this show. Apparently
Right.
not.
Well,
So
Baylor is
yeah.
more Baylor, in the last episode,
Mhm.
helmet takes
Yeah.
off. We
Woo!
find out what's what. That is more a Ned surprise, right? Where you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is gonna be his boy. Like he has a
Right.
Targaryen on his side, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
he gone. So I see
Man.
that, but you got to remember there's a lot of Easter eggs in the original Game of Thrones where there's jabs at Jamie like, wow, Sir Duncan the Tall, 4 pages on how great of a knight he was. So there was these things about how he goes on to be I think like head of the King's Guard and one of the like most well-known knights. So there's a lot more to tell in the story. So much so that the creators like, I want to do 12 seasons. I'm like, bro, pump your brakes a
Yeah,
little
I
bit.
don't
Like,
know
what
about
the hell?
that.
Yeah. What the heck? You're really
I'm
trying to
good
call?
with a 3-4 season show and then calling it a day.
Yes, I'm.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that House of the Dragon is 4 and done. That is a
Yeah.
brilliant move. I think that is how you do it. But getting back to this, I really like that this is going to be an annual show because, like you said, we are so far removed from what we came accustomed to growing up that our favorite show is going to come out every spring, every
Right.
September, where
Right.
it's like, okay, here we go. And now it's like, when is this coming out? When are we getting this? Oh, I forgot what happened. Oh, I need to do a catch up. It's been 3 years. Like that has now become the norm. And
Yeah.
so I love that Casey Blois is saying, no, with the Pit, with the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, we are going to get back to giving the people their stories, their characters once a year. And that is what we used to have. And it just isn't that anymore. So the fact that he's putting his sword in the ground and saying, nope, with this show, they're filming right now. It'll be out in spring, in the end of 2026 or the beginning of 2027, whatever it is. That I love that they're getting back to that, and he's reassuring, like, no, we're trying to get back to a place where we used to be. Sopranos every year, right?
I remember
every year
watching Arcane. I started Arcane season 2. I was actually fine. I don't remember any of these people and who they are and what they did. I stopped 15 minutes, like not even that, like probably 5 minutes into the show and just had to rewatch the first season because I don't know these people anymore.
I did the same thing. I love season 1.
Same.
I put on season 2. I try sometimes I actually try and watch I try and watch the ending of the last season to just remember. I'm like, damn, I don't even remember the ending. I'm like, so I did the same thing. And so you're right. It can kill so much momentum, even when you loved the first season or the previous season. And then you get to a point where you're like, I'm kind of over it. And that is not the feeling that you want to have, especially when your first season was so hot.
Right.
It kills it.
I'll give him a little bit of grace because
Sup, Zach?
Both Arcane and Severance happens right on the precipice of the pandemic, which pushed everything out. Right. So I'll give him that grace.
And the strikes.
Yeah, and then the strikes happens. Right. So
no, you're right. There is unforeseen circumstances, but still, and he did say, creatively, if it's possible, that's what we want to do. And it seems like this is not a sprawling different country show. This is a specific place and time. So that makes it easier. The Pit is in the pit, is in the ER room. That makes it very specific. So these are easier to do it every year because it doesn't demand a sprawling epic in different locations. So I totally get that. But the fact that Casey Blois is saying, hey, we know this is killing momentum. That's not what we want to do when it's possible. And I love that he's saying that. So we'll see. We'll see what Ted Sarandos says once he owns them, and it could all change there. But let us know what you guys think. Are you liking A Night of the Seven Kingdoms? Are you excited for the finale tonight? And do you get some reassurance from the head of HBO that this is going to be an annual series? We are going to see these characters once a year, hang out with them, have a short and sweet story, and we'll see them the following year. Drop a comment below and let us know your guys' thoughts.